Hey everyone! So I've had a few questions on how I make my faux fur pom-poms for my hats. So I'm going to give a quick tutorial on how. So I bought this long pile faux fur from Joann's. I got half a yard. I think I can get like 35 palms out. So you can kind of see my chalk mark here. I always cut from the back with faux fur. It helps so that you're not cutting the fur itself. So I marked a 6-inch slot, and I'm going to go ahead and cut that. Again, just taking a little bit of caution to make sure that you are only cutting the backing. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and put this to the side. So like I said, I cut a 6-inch strip. I'm going to turn it, take my ruler, and mark 6 inches again. And I just use a regular piece of like chalkboard chalk that I got from the Dollar Tree. It washes out really nicely and doesn't stain. And if I lose it or break it, I'm not too heartbroken about it. So going this way, you can actually snip in a little bit on each one. So you can either cut all the way or you can rip them. So I'm going to go ahead and rip them apart, hopefully, like so. Alright, so now we have 3 6x6 squares. So I'm going to grab a large eye needle and some embroidery floss. So I couldn't find any gray quickly when I was there. Black will do just fine. And then you can use a little bit larger of a needle if you have one, but this is what I have. So I'm going to choose one to work on and set the others aside. So I am going to thread my needle. Come on. Alright, so now that we have it threaded, I am going to run like a hand basting stitch along all 4 sides. So just choose a corner to start in. And I don't cut mine initially to start, just to save thread at the end. But you will want to pull probably about a good 12 to 14 inches through so you can work around. So then thread, like I said, like a hand basting stitch is what you're going to want. This is probably about 1/3 of an inch from the edge. You don't want it too close, but not too far in. Alright, so now we have one side done, so we're going to turn the corner and work our way up this way. My thread came out. I wasn't paying attention to the tail. Alright, so we're continuing on. So we're almost done with the second edge here. Alright, so now I'm going to turn and work on that third edge. As you can see, we're not going to have enough thread to make it all the way. So I'm going to also just gently start pulling to help give myself a little bit more thread to work with. So I'm going to go as long as I can without pulling my stitches to gather them. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and just lightly pull. I don't want to pull too many or too hard right now, but you can see how it starts curling, which is perfect. That's going to be what helps us make our circle pom. So I'm going to keep hand stitching. Alright, so now we have 3 of the 4 sides done, so we're just going to scooch along to the last side here. Pulling again ever so slightly just to give myself enough thread to work with. Alright, and we are just about to the end, probably 2 more stitches here. And nothing has to be exact about this. I don't measure clearly, besides the fabric square, the first square. Alright, so now you can take your needle off, and I'm going to grab some polyfill and I'll be right back. So I grabbed just a handful of polyfill, but I'm not going to stuff it quite yet. So I'm going to go ahead and just start pulling on both strings to gather this pom. I'm going to gather just a little bit more. Alright, so you can see how it's open but gathered. So I'm going to go ahead and stuff it with some polyfill. This will help keep its shape. Alright, like that. You can see how it fills the whole space in there, but it's not too much. And then I'm going to go ahead and pull as hard as I can to close that up. And now I'm going to cut my threads. Leave them long though, so you can see how long they are. And then I'm going to do 1 knot. So I'm going to pull again, knot, pull, knot again. And then what I like to do is to take one of my threads, put it back on my needle, and just take it and find a little bit of the backing on the other side. and then pull again. And then I like to do 3 knots. So 1, 2, 3. And then I leave my threads long because I like to attach them to hats, and I like to have them sewn in. But there you can see is a nice faux fur pom-pom.